Well, I can just do this. I can just do this. Wait, is this not copied? Copy. I can't do it. What? Wait, copy? Copy.
I feel like we just need to start sending tech support to Anthroz.
Copy?
Dan, have you
I was in a destruction of my own universe. Sorry about that.
Dan, have you tried turning it off and on again?
Off, and on. Off.
Okay, just checking. Always have to check.
Hi, DJ. I'm playing some like startup music that I had viciously stolen from Resoula, by the way. So these are all Resoula songs that I've stolen. If anyone is watching my stream. By the way, I'm live streaming this.
Okay. You're live streaming while we're attempting to solve tech issues. Though.
Yes, but I'm playing music in the background while we wait. Yeah. By the way, this is titled the Untitled Classical 1-1 from Resoula that I have viciously stolen because he said I could.
I poked DK, not you. Pat.
People are trying to poke me? What are you trying to poke me with?
A stick.
I'm poke you with a sword.
Yeah,
I'm trying to kill you, pretty much.
I only poke DK with very large sticks.
What are you trying to poke me with? Why?
Stick.
What did I do?
Nothing. I do it just because I can.
Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna do a little quick setup for y'all. Just so you know, there is something on the map that was definitely not there last week.
Just so you know, I'm still not in the thing.
I know, I can tell.
What, on the town map?
Yes. You may notice 7 things that were not there last week.
Well, I've definitely noticed one.
I bet I can notice the bottom.
I think I've just noticed the second one. Yeah, so I'm paying attention enough those are new.
What I'm talking about is into the southeast.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh.
Room service?
Interesting.
Hello?
I was looking at map decorations. Hey Chris, is that a new bridge?
No.
Oh, it looks new.
I have not changed anything else in New Mirkwood, except... Well, I've changed a lot of things in New Mirkwood, but only 7 things that you can see right now.
Chris, I see 1. I see 2. I see 3. Ha, ha, ha. Look at the joke I was making. But don't those guys just look so happy and dead? They honestly look kind of dead.
Really?
They're very gray. They look kind of like they're sick or covered in ash or maybe just dead.
I'll give you a hint. They're not dead.
They are all dead.
They're not dead.
They are all
the
dead.
guy. I mean, the guy at the front, he looks fine.
Whoops.
No, they are all dead.
Playing this really nice classical song, right? In the background. That I stole from Resoula. And then I started playing his rock and roll songs, which it's totally not what I want for this. I might need to actually download it instead to continuously repeat. But by the way, to answer DJ's question, what are we doing? We're going to be playing Adventures of Middle Earth, which is a flavor of Dungeons and Dragons. So, like, it takes the Dungeon and Dragon core rulebook and then it makes modifications to make it more Lord of the Ring. And it's physically called Adventures of Middle Earth. I keep calling it Adventures of Lord of the Rings. I don't know why. Forgive me.
I'm gonna be right back.
Keep calling it that too.
BRB!
That's okay. We all know Chris is crazy.
So, actually, while everyone's, like, getting ready and everything, I guess I'll tell everyone what's been going on. Since I'm going to assume that most of the audience has not seen any of the other episodes. And this is episode 21. This is the town of New Mirkwood. There have been a bunch of little misadventures, but currently the party, which is consistent of Dan, who plays a character named Kal-El, which is an elf. He was sent as a emissary. We have Nick, who is a Dudane, who is here for his own secret and malice purposes. Then we have
always
the Doctor, who is we'll say a scholar, who is under the tutorage of one of the wizards. Who that is, who knows? I know, and Mr. B knows, maybe everyone else knows, we don't know. Anyway, he's staying at the inn, and he's been taking care of people and giving people medicine and treating people in the town. But anyway, this New Mirkwood town is, in fact, a new town, and it was designed kind of like a blending of different races, and very much I would say, an attempt at accomplishing something that hasn't been accomplished for quite a while. A collection of races working together. Now, if you see, like, transparent things, these are secret things that the players can't see yet, but you can, viewers. You can, because you have the GM's sight. You can see everything the GM sees. Also in the party is RampageForce, who plays a young 100-year-old elf who went on a... He wanted to find his brother, Billy, who mysteriously vanished. He was the previous emissary before Dan.
He was also a spy.
Yes.
He was not a spy.
All elves
He's
are
a spy.
spies. Anyway, I'll show you all some of the other maps. Anyway, we will just say that Billy was imprisoned in a place called Dovaka, which kind of looked like this, and then the party immediately burned it down, because that's what this party does. We burn things down. Anyway, they attempted to kill, well, with the assistance of another orc named the Marked One, they tried to kill the Despoiler. He got better. And he is now called the armies of the orcs, and now the Marked One and the Despoiler are in a civil war, which brings us to our great loading screen, Lord of the Rings, Season 1, The Amulet, Civil War. The Amulet was the main quest, but we have very much ignored it. So, Civil War...
Yes, that has been very much so ignored.
Hey, we have more important things to be doing, like protecting the town from an orcish war.
Oh, hey, Dino. These are the different major orc captains. They each have their own personalities and things they're trying to accomplish. This is the Marked One, and this is the Despoiler.
You should show them my manuscript.
Yes.
For everyone's humor, I guess I can do that. Let's see, where is Nick's
manuscript?
Oh, there it is. So, basically the party's been collecting information. They've been spying on the different orc captains to try to figure out what they might... No, I want to play this song and I want you to only play this song. Okay, sorry. Anyway, they've been collecting information about the orc captains that they can present to the marked one to essentially whatever captains they can get on their side, they don't have to fight. So that's kind of their goal for that. So the more orc captains is on their side, the more that's going to be fighting for the marked one, and less that they have to worry about. The marked one is very much in agreement with their goal. They both have a very similar goal of the spoiler is evil, let's get rid of him. The marked one has its own reasons. Some of them he's maybe exchanged, but we'll say that he's a rebel of a rebel. On the last episode, lower this down some more. On the last episode, the village was rampaged by a bunch of orcs. Not orcs, elves. Elves that really did not care for the well-being of the people living in the village. It appeared as if they had been smited, but a little comic I wrote for this series. This is a character from another roleplay, and I made the little joke. You'll have to see the Christmas episode to really understand this one.
Even then, you won't understand it because we don't have any Dark Heresy episodes recorded.
No. She appeared in that episode, though. She appeared in the Christmas.
Well, yeah,
episode.
yeah, but they won't understand the other backstory behind her.
So here's some of the other orc camps that the party has visited. This is Vlad. Kind of well defended.
Okay, I'm gonna start recording.
Okay, cool. Orvu's camp. I don't know if the party ever visited there.
Orphew?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't gone there yet.
Are we planning on going there?
Yeah, we're planning on going there eventually.
Pax the Mad's camp.
I know you've showed us his camp before, but I don't think we've actually gone there yet.
I'm just buying time. This is Taggett's camp. Oh, I realized I just left y'all on Dovahkiin. I'm sorry. That's very mean for me to do to my players.
Really?
And this is, of course, a very special camp. If the team actually goes there, but and I will say, good luck on entering this camp. It's very well defended.
That was Nick.
What?
That was Nick.
What was me?
Yeah, I'm receiving messages from someone. Skype sent you a card. Skype wants to know my feelings about Skype. Skype, this may not be the time for that. I might be busy.
Skype would like to know your feelings about Skype. Skype, I'm a bit busy right now.
Yes, indeed. So anyway, again, this is the town of New Mirkwood.
In the last episode, wasn't there something about an apple?
So Dan, how are your technical difficulties going?
He's in a call with Mr. B.
Is he?
Yes.
But
he must have put this call on hold then.
No, like phone call.
Oh, okay, phone call.
Okay, we apparently 2 of our players are trying to help another player set up their mic so we can hear them, because we want to hear their lovely voice.
And DK really wants to be able to rant.
Yeah, I want a monologue.
Without just
Man, I have a monologue set up. And...
You have a monologue.
He doesn't just want a monologue to himself, so...
Yeah. I mean, I guess I have to monologue to Rampage now, see?
Well, no,
See what
Mr.
you
B
did,
is
Dan?
also very... Mr. B is also very concerned, so you're gonna have to monologue to him, too.
Oh.
I'm here.
No, he doesn't get a monologue. He's human.
Yes, but I'm a scholar, and I know that this is particularly concerning and very much against what should be happening.
Well, I also have another interesting news. Did you know that some of your elfin powers about the forest do not help you in the Vales?
I don't know who that was directed at.
I meant that in a general say. Apparently, like, there are, like, when you hit the Vales, there's, like, a special rule for the Vales, and the party has walked around the Vales a lot, and I didn't realize there was a special rule for the Vales. And there's that really weird music that I don't want to play. There we go.
Is this music for your stream?
Yes, it's just for the amusement of my stream while I wait for us to start.
I think we're ready.
So what is it? Well, is Dan here?
No.
Well, I think Dan can hear us. He just can't speak.
Yeah, but we want him to be able to speak.
He said to get started.
Alright.
That means we should get started.
Alright, chat. We're gonna start. Chat, you're just going to read what he says, and if need be, I'll, like, reiterate some of it.
Yeah, so Dan, you're gonna have to speak in Roll20 now. So that the lovely chat can see what you're saying.
DJ says, I never saw something like this. Play the wonder. Well, I can't do music requests because I will get a takedown notice so quickly, and then have, like, all the music be banned from multiple countries. I can't take requests. I'm actually stealing some of Resoula's songs. He told me I can use them, so I'm going to continuously steal them when necessary. Okay, I've stopped the music, though. Alright, last time on Dragon Ball Z, I'm actually going to start now appropriately. I believe y'all tried to fight a werewolf, right?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Because we totally knew it. We could kill it.
So, Mr. B, did I tell you the bad news?
No.
The werewolf has damage resistance from every single weapon type. Which means that it only takes half damage from blunt, piercing, and slashing. Which meant that you shouldn't have actually done as much damage as any of y'all actually did to it.
Remember how Dan scared away the Black Riders because he was so intimidating?
Yeah.
That's actually what happened in the forest there with the werewolf.
Well, no, actually, what really happened
you know what?
was
You shouldn't have.
That was supposed to be kind of like a set up the mood for that encounter later. I didn't actually mean for that to be a full encounter.
He shouldn't have been hiding in the forest then, with his glowing green eyes.
Yellow.
Oh, by the way, the werewolf is the only creature that, like, of dog type that is not afraid of fire. I would like to mention that. DJ, are you trying to get me in trouble? When you play Fallout 4, you have to turn off all radios because you will get, like, banned by 1 million people for songs from the, like, 1900s. Anyway, as y'all wake up in the morning, and you may have noticed that the townspeople seem a little nervous, and you hear a horn go off. Dur-dur-dur-dur.
What?
Ah, clearly the welcoming party is here.
What? I don't know what this is a welcoming party.
A bunch of riders on white horses are approaching the town from the southeast.
You said we all just woke up in the morning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I have to put my character somewhere else because I always sleep outside of town.
Careful, don't go too far away. That's like a 2-day journey.
But Nick has a horse now, right?
Yeah. No, he doesn't ride. He doesn't ride horses. He walks next to him.
I think
Exactly.
they're the only people that use horses.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna
horses carry his
put
stuff.
I'm just gonna put my character there for now.
So miles away.
7 days outside of town.
Exactly. he took a journey to the woodsman town without telling anybody for breakfast.
Oh, okay. So we're not going to be seeing you in this episode then, huh, Nick?
No, not at all.
Yeah, because I believe that would be like, I don't know, Woods Journey or something. It would be a really terrible breakfast.
But yeah, that's
all right.
I'm sitting
does anyone? By the way, does anyone want to react to the writers?
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay. So y'all hear the horn. Dur-dur-dur-dur. And
So those guys are like half a day away from us.
oh, they're
on
coming in
horses.
They're coming in full gallop.
And they're, doing the horny sound.
Mm-hmm. And now you hear even more horns coming from the north. And now you hear more horns coming from the northwest. Then you hear horns coming from the southwest.
So why are we being attacked from every angle?
And now you hear coming from the south, but you hear it much louder, as if there's more than one horn.
Well, now I see a bunch of horses.
We can take the horses, and we can give every single townsperson a horse.
Oh gosh.
I think the best idea here is to start sprinting for town.
Yes.
Nah, just shoot one of them off the horse and just take that guy's horse.
Shoot a guy off the horse, take his horse.
That'd be like the Nick thing to do.
Woo, woo! Like, shoot him. Just jump on his horse.
Alright, well, I guess I go stand over here.
You do know that it would be better to shoot the horse because the horse is more likely to fall over.
But isn't that unhonorable anyway?
You mean dishonorable?
Yeah.
I doubt they're
No.
friendly. I doubt it.
Don't think it is.
Oh, I'm sure they're friendly. They're on
quite
white
far
horses.
away still, but now some of them are going single file. And they've kind of slowed down a little bit. It's very clearly that they want you to know they're here. They're in no way attempting to sneak on the town.
Themselves.
They're very much announcing themselves. Would any of y'all like to go up on a watchtower and perform any perception checks?
Well, can I perform a perception check while attempting to run back towards town?
Sure.
Okay.
He's probably the first person that can see him anyway.
Yeah. I got a 14. Does this count as wilderness?
In what way?
He wants to bump his perception check.
Yeah.
I will. I will say
woods,
that normally I would let you use it, but you could very much tell they're not from the wilderness.
No. No, I get that when I'm in the wilderness.
Okay, fine. You look at them, and you very much can tell they are humans. And you see one human with blonde hair, and the rest behind them are wearing full metal helmets.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell they're from one of the human tribes. You notice they're all wearing red capes, and they're wearing heavy plate mail and chain mail. And also you notice their swords are sheathed. And their hands are nowhere near them.
Continue sprinting back towards town.
You can also tell that they don't seem to be in any way taking any kind of hostile action.
Okay, I did.
Yeah, they wouldn't dare. They've heard about that intimidating elf.
Okay, DJ, you can have a hug. Hug for DJ.
Billy also tried to make a cupcake.
By the way, wow, DJ knows exactly who they are. That's amazing. Rampage. Your check went really good. Alright. Rampage. You and Billy kind of are looking at this, and you and Billy are kind of talking and looking at the crests, and you and Billy are pretty sure that they are riders of Rohan.
Okay.
Who, last you checked, they're kind of far away from Rohan.
Yeah,
but
just a little bit.
But from their mannerisms, they are not doing anything that looks hostile at all.
Okay.
And you could tell that they have, from what you remember from Rohan and the way they're acting, they're very much here on... It seems, from their mannerisms and what you know of their mannerisms, that they don't have any ill intent.
Okay, so I tell Beason and Dan this. Since they're closest.
By the way, good catch, DJ.
That horse got very close to me very quickly.
Yeah, you go ahead and move your character. I would move your character, but I'd move trees.
Okay, so now I tell Nick since he's sprinting into the town.
Nick, they're after you.
No, I think they
That's
don't...
probably not true.
I say they don't... I just tell him. I tell him. As he's sprinting, I tell him.
You notice that only one of the riders continues on while the others stop. And only 2 riders approach the inner sanctum of the town.
Mm-hmm.
Do any of the party wish to approach the Rohan riders?
I just...
I'll approach him.
Okay.
Yes, make peace. Make peace happen.
The rider stops when he sees
I'm gonna hide
you.
under the trees.
You hide into the trees, really? I could never pull your token out of that without, like, deleting half the forest. The one with blonde hair gets off of his horse and casually walks over while the other rider takes his horse. And he gives kind of a strange salutation to you.
Which I understand.
Yes.
Okay, I also walk up.
I salutate back.
He greets himself as Sir Francis of Steel.
I greet myself as Sir. I guess I'm not a sir.
Just the doctor.
The doctor of the Wilderland.
And
You're not there yet.
I was right there.
Hush.
I was right
Hush.
there.
There's certain protocols that have to be done. Hush.
He tells you that he is here to keep. He and 30 riders have come to give aid to this town.
Aid for what?
He's heard that there have been reports of attacks. He's heard reports of orcs. And when he says orcs, you can see that that's really the reason he's here, and everything else is just kind of dressing.
You know what? Someone should call me over now.
But he also has now recently heard reports that some of the orcs have not been working against the town. And so before he started sending his men out, he didn't want to act outside of the town's interest. So he decided he should come and talk with y'all directly before he makes any actions.
Someone should get me. I have the manuscript.
Yeah, we'll get there. We're not going to run away and leave him hanging. We need to have a meeting, and we can fill him in on what's going on. Maybe he would like to have his riders rest, and we'll organize a meeting. We don't really have a meeting hall, do we?
We can go to the mayor's office.
That's what I was thinking.
You see the mayor's already out, but he's kind of he's keeping at the halfway point. And he's right now kind of looking and examining what's going on. You notice he actually has some sort of viewing device he's looking into. Like a
telescope.
Yeah.
Binoculars.
Probably more of like a telescope.
Futuristic magic.
Yes, of course. Futuristic magic.
Science magic is second strongest magic.
So, I ask him to find himself a paddock to rest his horses.
I'd also like to mention that Dan says, plus the mayor can coordinate with him and us, especially since we're often gone.
Yeah.
And we'll all the time.
And we will send notice of a meeting time and place.
Now that you look at it, you realize that most of the knights have taken up defensive positions to defend all the different points into the outer areas around the farms.
Lovely.
And
there's a werewolf out there too if you want to go get him.
They could probably, with 30 riders, maybe they could kick that werewolf out.
Hey, we were able to do it with just an elf and a scholar.
I don't know if that'd be a good idea, but I feel
if
like they would lose a lot of riders. Pick up that dead
pig, it would be great too.
It's not dead, it's sleeping.
It's been sleeping for a very long time.
It's only sleeping when you look at it.
Which is all the time. Oh, it woke up. Oh, it went to sleep.
Here's the thing, Mr. B. It's absolutely terrified of you and Dan, so it plays dead whenever you look at it.
There you go. It ought to be. Alright, so is he good with that?
Oh, yeah, he's actually going to tell most of his knights to... Because he doesn't want to seem like he's invading. So he's telling most of his men to station out in the farms on the outskirts of town. Because he doesn't want to ride in with 30 knights into the main town.
Yeah. So we ask him if he needs any food or water or, refreshments, cookies, biscuits, pizza rolls.
I do have 11 cookies.
Does he need any?
I realized something. I didn't unhide all the riders because I'm a terrible GM.
That's right. They're rolling in.
There we go. Let me reveal the rest of them. There we go. Think I got them all, chat. He mentions that he brought his own supply wagons, but he really would like to, it might be a good idea for him to get off his horse and maybe, speak with y'all.
Okay, we just need to warn the mayor and make the townspeople easy. We'll be back
The mayor makes a gesture with his hand, and you see what was unseen of some of the militia now going back to their homes, putting weapons down. When he saw Sir Francis's crest.
Alright, so does the mayor want to meet with him now?
He gestures towards y'all as he then goes back to his, the mayor's mansion.
It's a mansion?
Well,
It grew.
It grew, yes.
It grew into the forest.
So, for the purpose of this, I'm going to get him off of his horse and switch his character model. Understand his other character model has his sword out, so forgive me.
That's alright. We walk around with our weapons drawn all the time.
You mean like me and the bow I never use?
All the time.
So he's kind of big. He was pretty big. Yep.
His buddy's
also
even
big.
bigger. These riders of Rohan, they're giants. They're giants of men.
Didn't you know?
But they have shrinking potions.
Yes. All with the shrinking.
So that they can fit on the pods. And on their horses.
They just have these little cookies that say "Eat me" on them.
DJ says,
If I saw a cookie.
What an
If I saw a
odd
cookie.
paladin.
If I saw a cookie that said "Eat me," I would probably, the first thing I would do is check if it's poisonous.
Are y'all ready to proceed over towards the mayor's house?
I'd like to have a...
Nick has no idea what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'd like to have a conference with Nick before, but you seem to be pushing this meeting to happen right now.
If
so
y'all want to wait,
on
maybe they could wait at the inn while you wait to confer with the mayor. Is that what you want to do?
I'd rather him, wait outside, but...
But Nick is currently
gonna...
hiding, so...
Is he going to force the issue?
No, he'll wait.
Alright. Go chill with your dudes. And... so we head back, we send... And he didn't want any food, right?
Nope.
Water or anything?
No, he has his own supply wagons. He mentions it. He doesn't want to seem like he also doesn't want to accept anything from the town because then it could be perceived that he's stealing things from the town.
So we've
perception
got
of this is very important.
In this town we've got this thing in this town that's exceedingly rare amongst all of Middle Earth. That can only be found in the inn. So I'm assuming there's other people in the town running around.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess Pip's not around, right?
Pip is still hiding in his
Alright. So find someone we find someone in the town. I find someone in the town and I say, "Hey, go get a whole bunch of pizza rolls and take them to the dudes on the horses."
Now be careful. Essentially it would be considered giving an offering to him, and he's trying not to create that perception.
Yeah,
he just honestly wants to help, and he doesn't want to create a negative perception of them being there.
All right, wonderful. We're giving them.
But
some
no,
food.
because if you start giving them food without explaining to the townspeople first why they're here, and you're suggesting that the town is giving offerings to him, and thus, in a way, paying sort of fealty. He doesn't want to have that problem.
Offerings. When we walked into the Hobbit village, what did they do?
Yeah, but those are hobbits.
Yeah, okay. So these are just riders of Rohans. They're not gods.
They are
just...
an army, though.
Yeah, they're an army. We're trying.
All right, so
we don't want
won't
to
do that
create
because
We
Because
don't want
the
to
GM
create
says
the
that would be a
perception.
bad idea.
No, yeah, here's the thing. If you want to do something, I will totally back it. It's fine. I was just giving you perception concepts.
Anyway, so we kind of make our way over to. I don't know where Nick is hiding.
Where is Nick hiding?
Nick is hiding behind the blacksmith.
Okay, but did you tell me you were hiding behind the blacksmith?
No, I just ran in that direction.
All right, well,
You didn't see him run in that direction. You did not see this.
all right. I tell my
That's
dog
okay.
to.
You
I
have
tell
a
my dog to go find and get Nick, and I head towards the mayor.
So your dog, Mr. B, heads off towards the blacksmith, goes around it, and then finds Nick, goes bark, bark, bark.
All right, we head towards.
And-
Hi, doggy.
And the dog starts making motions for Nick to leave this area.
Okay, Nick hides behind the next house.
Now Mr. B's dog is actually physically pushing Nick back out to the open.
Nick is now hiding behind these barrels.
By the way, Mr. B, you can see that Nick is now physically hiding behind an object that's slightly smaller than him.
Are you guys coming to the mayor's house, Billy and?
No.
You,
Billy looks
Okay.
at Rampage and whispers
says,
to
"Pizza rolls."
Rampage that maybe it'd be a good idea to see what's going on.
What?
go to the mayor's house.
Okay, I will go to the mayor.
Hey, is Arceus and Virgil there still too?
Yeah, they're chilling. They're not doing anything.
They're actually kicking a little ball between each other.
So I just climb on top. We stand directly next to Mr. Beason.
Yeah. All right.
And
so
Arceus is sitting there looking at him, looking at the Riders of Rohan, and you hear him make a little side comment. If anyone wants to hear that side comment, you need to roll for it.
I want to hear the side comment.
Nick is going to roll for it.
it's
Wait,
perception.
Is it
20.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Billy?
Arceus's comment that you could just barely hear, slightly audible. Making the Riders of Rohan wait, huh? Even a knight, he waits.
Okay, well, Nick is going to the mayor's house. Because I don't really feel like keeping up that fiasco.
Billy may have heard it, and there might have been a little wiry smile on his face. But if there was, it disappeared too quickly for anyone to see.
Okay. Does Rampage see this? I mean, it's
Yes,
funny,
totally.
yeah.
Rampage hears this. Here's what
That's fine.
Arceus had said. Now, Rampage, Billy whispers something to you. Arceus would be the one to know.
Okay.
Well, either way, it's not our position to walk these people through the town. It's the mayor's job. So we go to the mayor. We say, "Hey, Mr. Mayor, we've got some riders of Rohan out here. They say they want to help."
I see that. I can see from their armor, from the way they direct themselves, the fact that they did not push into the inner sanctum of the town. They also seem to be wanting to guard this town. Do you know from what?
They said the trolls, the orcs.
Yes, it starts with an O and ends with an orc.
Yeah. So anyway,
Does that end with a K?
they were
Or
slightly
a C?
confused.
I never remember.
They were slightly confused that they heard
Depends on
conflicting
who you
reports
ask.
about orcs that were not causing the town harm. So we feel like we need to have a chat with them and explain what's going on.
Well, I can give them a copy of the manuscript.
It would be unwise to keep them secluded from the town. If they came to help, and their intentions are honest, and you see no malintent, I don't see any malintent. Let us speak with them.
Can we use your mansion, your mayor's mansion, as a meeting place?
Yes. In fact, I think the new meeting room would be appropriate.
All right.
Well, it's a good thing I stopped at the scribes before last night to make more copies.
You always need more copies.
Let's do it.
I always need more copies of the manuscript.
Always.
All right, so we go.
I may have to actually make more so they can distribute it to the other writers.
We'll get this Rohan writer guy.
Dan, escort the writers through the town.
Well, Dan says he's going to stay and keep them company.
Well, he was while we went to the mayor. Now he's gonna join us, hopefully.
He's typing. I will escort them to meet the mayor.
The mayor.
See, but by the way, the original... I didn't know what gesture to have the mayor give you to say, go ahead and bring them in, because he was so far away. If I put the mayor closer, it would have just been really awkward.
That's fine. They'll be okay. They know they can't just barge in the town. They're not going to have a problem with us getting permission as we're not the leaders of the town.
You notice that Sir Francis only takes one of his guards with them. I was kind of waiting to see what Dan was going to do.
He escorts them in.
Well, he's currently guarding the entrance.
Yes, Dan, you'll have to actually move your character.
Dun dun dun. Okay.
Come along, come along. We're just gonna walk over the. Okay, that's what I thought. Respect for our water supply here.
Yeah, unfortunately I had them both selected, so it was a little harder to move them.
And thus we meet.
Okay, this is coming apparently.
Come on, Arceus.
He seems to be following slowly.
That's all right. Bring it on.
You hear one of the guards saying, "Isn't that Arceus?" Says Sir Francis. Alright, they join y'all in the mayor's meeting room. There were a bunch of wooden tables. It seems to have a really nice finish to it.
Ah, welcome, riders of Rohan.
Actually, I think that should be Mr.
I'm a
Mayor.
very, yes, but I'm a very lordly person, so I did it. And DK was not prompting a greeting, so.
Well, no, I wasn't, because I was having people sit down, and I was gonna see what y'all wanted to do first.
Well, really,
I
we're
didn't know that
expecting
this was the
mayor.
point in which suddenly the adventurers pulled their knives and stabbed everyone.
Well,
I'm
we're
joking.
kind of expecting the mayor to, you know.
Well, I started by greeting them, so.
Sir Francis, says it is truly an honor to be here. I heard you had an orc problem.
Yes, large numbers of orcs are nearby currently.
Well, I'll be honest with you. There was sound of a horrible sound, and our scouts saw large amounts of orcs starting to head from Mordor in this direction, which is what prompted our very initial expedition.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw that truly there is some shocking things going on. But that is not for us to judge. These are your lands. And we've heard rumors that we've heard a lot of rumors. But first I guess we should see what is the situation as is.
Well, let's see.
It's complicated.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
What is your relationship with the orcs? It's
There are
complicated.
currently approximately 10 orcish captains that we know of in the area. One is extremely hostile to the town. Well, not necessarily the town specifically, but
Life in general.
he's not a friendly person.
I've heard rumors of a civil war?
This is correct.
Getting the orcs to fight themselves. I hear that's always been a good way to resolve these things.
Yes.
Less human bodies.
There's another orc whose current objectives are do not clash with the town, so to say.
At least not yet.
Not for 5 more years anyway.
But for the time being, he is assisting in facilitating this orcish war.
Okay.
I don't know about facilitating as much as getting rid of the leader of the other side.
Yes. Our particular group has been doing some investigation on the other orc captains to provide all of us on this side with better knowledge on how to handle such orcs.
There's no harm in actually having information.
But
Only a fool goes to battle unprepared.
this copy of my manuscript here contains the information we have collected thus far. As I pass a copy over the table to him.
He takes it and starts flipping over it. He's not taking a hard look at it yet. He's just doing a light skim.
Mm-hmm.
I must say your information gathering is quite extensive. And then he just kind of passes on the manuscript to his honor guard.
Mm-hmm. So, we have to do our best. Obviously, the information we gather can be used to both fight or manipulate the orcs in question. that is always useful.
You finally notice the Sir Francis's honor guard is just staring at Arceus.
So that's not my problem. So.
And Arceus is kind of staring at them.
I ask, do you all know each other?
Arceus whispers to you, "No. But I think they know of me." And Sir Francis's honor guard says, "Arceus, are you ever going to return to Gondor? Your people miss you greatly." Arceus just has kind of a half smirk. When my work is done. When my work is done. And the honor guard just seems to drop it, realizing this wasn't the place.
Yes, well. Yes, well, back to the orcs at hand. We are most certainly looking to manipulate as many orcs into making a decision to side with the orc most favorable to us at this time.
Sir Francis looks at you and says, "Well, that makes sense. Use your enemy or be used."
Bit of using going on both sides.
How can we help?
Well, I'm sure. I doubt your assistance will be particularly useful in the final battle, as I'm sure some orcs would become suspicious of that.
Oh, I like, you know, if maybe some people run away and we kind of charge them.
Yes, well, but
maybe a bit of ambush.
Yes, but I suppose if you were so inclined, you could begin ambushing some of the orcish troops of perhaps the Despoiler or orcs we decide we don't like quite as much, or we feel are less likely to
my men will
make a decision favorable with us.
Missions of that extent. I will await targets, of course. I won't, of course, just start executing at my own leave. I would rather not ruin plans made by wiser men.
Yes, but
I might ask a boon.
Sorry, go on.
I have not seen any of these orc captains, or any of the orcs for that matter. It's been many generations since Rohan has gone to war with an orc so directly.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be too much trouble for me to maybe come with you?
For just following us around to
yes,
on our...
I'd like to see the adversaries in play.
Well, I don't know that we will necessarily see one in combat in the near future, as our current missions are mostly intelligence gathering.
Of course, but I wouldn't mind being there.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Are you any good at burning wood carts?
That I can do.
Okay. Yeah. You can.
Yeah. No, you can come. That's fine.
Excellent.
We've had to burn a few orcish carts a couple times. Very poorly designed. let's just say that their best cart only had 3 round wheels.
I wouldn't put it past them. I heard orcish design was of questionable style.
It's not that it's of questionable design. It's just the orc in question does not have access to the resources or the craftsmen he should, as they are currently still stuck elsewhere.
Of course, of course.
But
I imagine they're pushing pyramid-style wagons in a 360 loop.
probably.
Of ground made of only solid ice.
But will you now you want to see these orcs? How close up do you want to see them?
I will do nothing that endangers the mission. If my closeness is an issue, I will stay back.
Well, you could come
If I need to put a peasant's jacket over myself, I can do this as well.
yes, well,
Or if you need me to stab something, I can do that too.
if you're willing at any point to remove your armor and weapons and entrust them to an orc to hold on to.
I assure you, if need be, I can punch just as well as stab.
But and then put on some slave clothes so that we can enter as pretend slaves. Then
I do
you
not
can
mind.
get very close to the orcs.
I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't mind the close intel. I'd like to see the enemy that we will one day face.
Yes, I believe that we had actually been preparing to go to one of the more well-defended camps next. Though we hadn't made a clear decision on which one we were going to.
You also notice, you notice a little face kind of peeking in.
Mhm.
Mr. B, you notice, you know who this person is. It's the cartographer. And she's
I
just
thought
kind
we
of
were gonna-
peeking at y'all.
Oh, the girl?
Mm-hmm.
She's peeking in.
Yes. I think she's wondering if you had forgotten.
We haven't forgotten.
I haven't forgotten either. That's where I'm
We
going
just-
next, because I want that map.
And then she kind of walks off.
We keep getting distracted from, you know,
Important.
our main mission, which is to take
Now-
an amulet back.
Personally, if you're going to raid orcs, I would avoid this one here, Cooler the Vlad, as he's personally an orc. I feel he may be more easily convinced to join our particular civil war. And we
Oh.
have set in.
I should
We've
let
set-
you know that my men did uncover one of the orc camps.
Mhm.
We did not proceed close to it, and it was our scouts that found it, of course. And we gave it a
Alright.
good berth.
Did you happen to learn the name of the captain presiding over?
No, but I can tell you he had a necromancer.
Yeah, that
Uh,
guy. We need to. So that guy, he's the
I
main
don't,
bad guy.
I haven't heard anything about a necromancer in any camps yet, so
That's
I
the
can't-
spoiler.
yes, but our characters don't know that.
By the way, out of character, no, it is not the Despoilers camp. It's not the same
it's
necromancer.
Yeah, A, it's
Definitely.
not his camp, and B, we wouldn't know that anyway.
Well, either way.
I'm telling you out of character that he's speaking of another cat that has a necromancer. I actually finished his artwork today. Yay!
So, our Mr.
So,
Writer of Rohan.
can I finish my sentence?
No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Go ahead.
Okay. No. Unfortunately, I've not heard of any orc camp with a necromancer, so I can't say for sure which camp that is.
He tells you it's to the southwest.
Well, I currently have need of finding myself a map from the cartographer. We've been waylaid a couple of times before we can get that as of late. So, but yes. As for the orcs' weapons and armor, I have some detailed descriptions on them in the manuscript. Those are pretty standard for the orc guards we've seen thus far.
I look forward to studying that tactical information.
So, feel free to have the scribes make more copies of the manuscript if you wish to distribute information to your troops.
You see that his honor guard next to him has now made his own kind of personal copy of some of the orc equipment and what kind of like force factors to expect and maybe possible weaknesses that you've calculated.
But as for visiting an orc camp, we have a few things I'm sure we need to take care of first, and then I'm sure we can all head out soon.
Well,
but we will have to meet up with another orc to retrieve our guards first, though.
Of course, of course.
So, well, that's all I have to say. So, if anybody else got
For purposes of respect, the mayor is now talking. How about we create a... I will have the innkeeper prepare a... And as Francis is now going to, like, you know, like, attempt to say, no. The mayor says, no, do not mistake this. I will have the innkeeper make a strategic office available to you. And Sir Francis is now kind of puzzled. We'll have a room cleared of everything but a table and some chairs. That way you can use it as a planning room. And now he's looking like he wants to, like, you know, like, no. After kind of thinking about it for a second. Of course we will charge the Rohan royalty for its use. And then with that, Sir Francis seems to feel a little bit better. We'll come to an appropriate agreement.
Mr. Mayor, quick question. How are the appropriations of the items we discussed for the first orc?
We'll speak of that a little bit later. There's some quest involving that. Kind of out of character question. Is Rampage back?
Yes.
You said be right back, and then you never said you were back. And then you were really
So
quiet.
Can I ask some questions?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it, Doctor.
Okay, no one interrupt him this time.
All right, so Sir Francis, that's his name, right?
Mm-hmm. Sir Francis Steele.
So Sir Francis, how are your men at men and scouts at retrieving intel.
He says his scouts are really good, but he doesn't have a lot of them.
Because what we really need is intel on...
But if you want, he could send some men out to scout something if he needed to.
Yeah, so we could use some intel on
I think we should get the map first.
You really want this map. Wait, have we even told him about the map?
I know what the... Yeah, no, I've seen the map. But I think we should actually, like, physically get it so our characters know it exists.
Anyway, continue on, Doctor.
Can I?
Yes.
Yeah, go for him.
We could use some intel on the size of the Despoiler's army, and the size and the composition. And we could also use some intel of who is going in and out to see if he has communication with any of the other orc factions.
With that, Sir Francis asks a follow-up question to that. Do you know where the Despoiler's main camp is?
We may or may not know at this point. We know a general area of where he has been. But the question was more along the lines of, are you able to provide this assistance?
Well, he could send scouts, but he kind of needs a good idea which direction.
That's fine. The question was, are they able to provide that when we ask for it?
They could. Yeah, he could send scouts to scout in a particular area. He doesn't have, like, a lot of scouts. So he can't, like, scout, like, the entire region for you at once, if you know what I mean. So if you could give him a specific location, yes, he can scout it.
Okay.
It has a giant sign that says, the Despoiler's camp. I know that.
The map is broken for me.
The map is broken for you?
It's always been broken.
It's just endless green hexagons now.
Oh, lovely. Well, I will say that it's not broken for me, so I guess it's okay so far. This may affect Nick's immersion, though.
What?
Go ahead, Mr. B, I'm sorry.
That was it. Just wanted to find out if he was willing to help.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay, my map is back.
Excellent. See? It's all good. Is there any other questions you'd like to ask, Mr. B? And, Dan, is there any questions you wanted to ask? Rampage, is there any questions you would like to ask? And I will mention that Billy is keeping very silent. He's doing a lot more watching and less speaking.
That's exactly what Rampage is.
Of course.
How large is the army that he brought? Is it all present?
No.
Or is there others?
He specifically said, I think it was like 30 riders, and then he also has some additional troops and some supply wagons, and then his scouts.
Scouts.
He hasn't specifically specified how many scouts he has, but I imagine that his scouts work in teams.
All right.
And he didn't give you, like, he gave you how many riders he has. He gave you a pretty good idea how many soldiers he might have. He's got, like, another 30 footmen. So he's got 30 riders, 30 footmen, and he mentions specifically that he has 3 scout teams. Doesn't mention how many scouts are in the teams. He doesn't seem to specifically specify this. Just that he has 3 teams. And he says he has also some additional resources from the supply wagons and the cooks but he'd rather not send cooks out to war.
No, what we do is we make a peace treaty with your cooks. So what we do is we get all the cooks to make food, and we give the food.
Dan asks,
Hello.
I will ask what needs the writers have. How can we have them more effective or make their lives easier in return for all of the aid they're offering you? He says they brought plenty of supplies, and they had a very deep fear and concern that they didn't want to forage from the people. Because, like he has, like, one of his top orders is not to forage from the people. And to be, like, really clear and make no indication that this is an invasion. He kind of tells you that this is a semi-political matter, and that some of the other countries are not exactly pleased that he sent an army here. That Rohan has actually sent an army here.
Okay.
So some other kingdoms have taken this peace offering the wrong way, and his army is kind of like on thin ice.
So he mentioned that he headed out this way because there was a large movement of orcs coming out of Mordor.
Yes.
Did they follow those orcs to see where they went?
They saw what direction they were going, and they heard rumors of other orcs that had came before them, and they decided to march out and figure out what's going on in New Mirkwood. Because, originally, there were other reports of orcs before those that had came in the direction of New Mirkwood, which concerned Rohan even more so.
But they didn't follow the orcs
Probably
specifically.
the war chief coming, so...
Yeah. But they didn't follow those orcs specifically.
No, they did not follow them specifically.
Remember, the war chief is being slowed down, so... If we work under the assumption that those orcs are the war chief, then... Oh, you know what, I forgot to inform about that.
What's that?
Are you done for the moment?
Yeah.
Now, he does tell you that he's received messages from Rohan, and he's sent messengers.
Yes.
And
One last thing.
he then kind of looks at you and says that the real reason that caused this expedition was not only just the concern of the orcs, but, well, there was this very, muttering, master who had a lot of birds and squirrels, and he did a lot of yelling.
Yeah, you better watch out for him. He'll turn you into a tree.
So, in respect of his of what he represents, if you know what I mean, he stares at you, Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Which now tells you, maybe kind of removes a layer that there's an official reason and an unofficial reason. And now you know both reasons.
Okay,
But which one is the official?
one last thing, Mr. Steele.
Yes.
We do know that there is, in fact, an orcish war chief coming.
We may or may not know of this.
He intended to attempt to stop the civil war, but
from what we saw, from what my reports say, he's being delayed by methods that are both odd and perplexing.
yes, our not so hostile orc friend is making sure that the war chief will not arrive in time.
I imagine he's making great efforts in that.
So,
That's why it's always good to have one inside, eh? Is there any questions you'd like to ask before this meeting is, like, adjourned?
No.
Dan, is your question been answered to the point that you will accept it, or do you want to push further?
All right.
I think he's good.
I'm waiting, he's typing again. I thought I addressed this question, but I want to make sure it's really addressed. I'm trying to be like a good GM. Dan says, but I will thank them on behalf of the Elves of Mirkwood and say it will be good to fight alongside the Rohan. Sir Francis smiles at that. Is there any roles y'all want to perform on that?
Roll?
Okay. Then the meeting is dispensed. Okay, now what do y'all want to do?
I'm speaking to the Gnarf.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
He informed me he had things to tell me.
He did?
About
When
the
did
objects
this
I
happen?
required.
Yeah, he did. About the questing of getting our stuff for the orcs.
I was attempting to see if he had see how the progress had been going on the items we requested, such as
they're still trying to, they're still acquiring some of the materials.
I'm gonna go find the cartographer and make sure we
mentioned
know
there
where
was
we're
a bit of
going and
questing
prep
needed.
to go.
Well, he said he's gonna, he might be seeking questers later on acquiring some of the final components. But they're not at a point in which they need them, and if they get them too early, they can't use them. Because some of the things have to be processed, and if they're not used, they'll go bad. And so they don't want to send people out to get something that will expire before it's fully ready, prepared to be used.
He mentioned that the Woodsman Village had a painter who could assist us.
Yeah, but the town can take care of that. Unless you want to go to Woodman Town for some reason.
I mean, it could be on the way.
Alright, do you all want to head off to meet the cartographer?
Yeah.
Let's get a map.
So, Mr. B, do you remember what you need to do for that quest?
Not at all. That's why I said I was going over to the cartographer girl and make sure we're prepped and ready to go.
I believe you're supposed to find someone, right?
Yes.
She gave us some
Can I...
directions and-
Oh, okay. Good.
Yes.
I don't
Gidget
remember the
has
name
sent
of
us
the
to find
master that you're
someone.
supposed to find, actually. So, I'm gonna give him a new name, and that's my explanation for the deviation there.
Gidget.
No, I know Gidget. Like,
Oh,
that's the
Gidget.
girl,
Yeah, we know Gidget.
that's the local cartographer. She sent you to go
Yeah.
find a master, and I don't remember the master's name. I knew there was a reason I was supposed to watch last week's episode.
This reason was unknown.
So I'm renaming him Master Cubert henceforth. So you need to find Master Cubert.
Master Q.
I won't forget that one. I'll be honest with you, Gidget's the only name I wrote down.
Does the mayor have a name yet?
Yes, the mayor.
Mr.
You know the
Mr.
mayor's
First name
name.
is Mr.
Ma-
No, I
ma-
His
don't.
last name is Mayor.
Yes.
no, the mayor's name is Dokal.
Really?
His secretary is named Denise.
Mhm.
Did you ever tell us this?
Yes, at the very beginning.
So that's why none
Why
of
would you
us
expect us to remember such things?
I also
Yes.
continuously use their names most of the time.
Yeah, his name is Mayor.
Actually, I had him sometimes go. I would go. Mayor Dokal comes to greet you.
I think he was pulling our strings.
I think so.
I don't
The
The
think
name of
that
the
ever
arborist
happened.
is Wilbur.
Well, we all knew what his name was, what the arborist's name was.
Janice the Cooper, who's working on your house.
Mhm.
The Hobbit's chieftain is Theodore. See, I wrote names down.
Let's go find a map.
A map.
We must find
Oh,
him.
I discovered the name of the master artisan that you were supposed to find. His name was Arias. I don't recall this. I don't know why I wrote down Arias. I'm looking at my notes, okay. Okay. So are you going to head for Master Cubert?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember any parts of the quest at all? Mr.
No.
B?
No.
No. Nothing.
Go find the dude because he's got a map, and then
Okay.
bring one back for her.
Okay. Okay.
Very simple.
Good. Okay. Well, is there anyone you would like to bring with you on this quest?
Hey guys, we need to go get a map. Who wants to come?
Me.
Do
And
you,
Billy.
In the map, I've been
also,
yelling
would
at
you like to
Billy.
bring any NPCs with you?
Well, I'm going.
Me and Billy are going.
Billy's an NPC.
Billy, I consider 90% of the time Rampage gets to say what Billy does. 10% of the time we activate Billy mode, and then Billy makes an independent decision.
Yeah.
Particularly when the story requires a Billy moment.
No, isn't Billy supposed to take Rampage and Dan aside, though?
I'm gonna wait till I can monologue. And we're kind of, it's kind of late, so.
Yeah.
The monologue can wait.
And I think Dan is pretty shaken up about this whole. He doesn't want to be in the same room as Billy because Billy's killing elves.
Oh, yeah. Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, but I'm gonna move that to be resolved next week.
Just because Dan can't respond to the monologue very easily.
What? Does he need to respond?
Yes,
Yes.
I have
Yes, it's
a very
to
important
respond.
story element. So I'll wait to do that till next week and get the cartographer's map for now.
Are we just getting the map for the rest of the episode?
You may not get the map this episode.
Okay, well...
Do you have
are-
the
are-
battle for this map?
There might be.
Okay, so we're gonna have to battle.
Is it going to be an important battle?
It could be.
Do we? So we
Important
asked Sir
enough for
Francis
Nick
if
not
he'd
to
like
go
to
to
come
bed.
along.
Sir Francis is delighted. You can tell that he wants to see his eagerness is real. Like he really wants to come with you. Like he's like toning himself down because he doesn't want to seem like he doesn't want to seem over exertingly wanting to come, but he really wants to come.
Does he know we're just going to go find a cartographer?
He's excited.
Okay. I should take my horse and I should ride for Pitt's house first.
Horses!
Nick, do you know where it is?
All I know is it's up northwest.
I drew him
All
a
I've been
picture
told.
the last time.
Okay, you follow Mr. B's map. You find a farmhouse to the northwest. You approach the farmhouse. You find a dinner table thing set aside. And you find a little name for you and Pip and his parents. And it seems like the room has been undisturbed. Since Mr. B gave you no other instructions, would you like to go on a long and boring perception check?
Sure.
Well, it depends. We talked to Nick and I talked about this earlier, and it depends on whether or not he was, because he wasn't really listening.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's why I'm going with that. Yeah, he really wasn't
22.
listening.
But he later
Good
told,
enough, DK?
Nick, you discover a lot of dust in the kitchen. You also can tell that other than this, you could tell that Mr. B, the doctor, has walked through this room. You're very sure of that. You see his boot prints, and that's the only thing that has come this way. But there is quite a large set of rooms to explore.
Wait, you know what? I'm gonna follow his footprints.
You follow his footprints, and you approach another room that his footprints seem to, like, stop. And then you kind of notice them continuing, going in a different direction, stopping, going into a different direction, stopping, going into a different direction, and places that it's kind of randomly stopped.
Like he was wandering around the room.
Yeah, you could actually tell that he's made a lot of stops and lots of wandering and a lot of inspecting. And you're now thinking to yourself, man, does he inspect? How complicated it is to find a child, you think to yourself?
Well, do I know whether there's an upstairs or not?
You do know there's an upstairs, and you can see that the doctor went upstairs. But you also see him coming downstairs.
What rooms have I searched on the first floor so far?
You have explored the living room. You've explored the dining room. You have not checked any of the rooms upstairs. You've also kind of semi-explored a room that seems kind of randomly empty.
Now, I have to go into the cellar, correct? That's where the trapdoor is?
Out of character, yes.
Okay. So, do I know that there is a cellar yet?
No, you weren't paying attention.
Okay.
This is what you get for never
quite a bit of
paying attention.
Actually,
What do you
DK, I
get?
have
You
a
were
very-
paying attention, your character was not.
to Mr. B?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, are there more rooms on the first floor that I haven't explored yet?
Yes.
Do I know this?
You have a pretty good, strong feeling there is.
Okay, well, I'm going to attempt to enter these other rooms on the first floor.
You open a room, and you find darkness inside.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is that it?
I'm saying you found darkness in the room. You can't see what's going on inside the room. It's too dark.
Okay, well, I'm going to
If
search
only
another
you
room.
were a elf.
You're going to go to another room?
Mhm.
You found... this room seems bigger, but it also appears very dark.
Well, there's only one way to solve that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to look for a candle.
You do not see a candle.
Okay. You may perform an investigation for a candle.
Okay. That would be an 8.
You're pretty sure someone has stolen all the candles.
Okay, well, I'm gonna head upstairs.
You head upstairs. You find many rooms.
I would like to enter a room.
You find a room. You find that the room is kind of dark. But you see an iron wall.
Wall.
See what?
Yeah, it
Iron
looks like a
wall.
wall made of iron.
Oh, okay.
An iron wall.
I'd like to enter another room.
You go into another room. You see what looks to be a children's bed. Some works like kids' toy workstation type things.
I'm pretty sure that's upstairs last time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I'm upstairs.
he is upstairs.
okay.
I actually remember things. I'm joking. You also see some dressers.
Now, are they like the dressers with drawers, or are they those big, like, open wardrobes?
Wardrobes.
Okay, I'd like to open the wardrobes.
You open the wardrobe, and inside you see a letter with big letters printed.
Okay. I'd like to look at the letter.
You look at the letter. The letter reads, it seems to be a really bad joke, but ends with, in another castle.
Ah. Interesting.
You're not sure
I'll
what
look
this is
at another
about,
room.
but you feel like maybe your intelligence has been slightly insulted.
Okay, well, I'd like to enter another room.
You enter another room and discover that this room is locked.
So could he have actually entered the room with its lock?
No, Chris.
Yes, Nick.
Let's see, I'm trying to find... I don't actually know what to...
Is
What
there a
to roll for it?
security or tech use?
No, there isn't. The problem.
Does anyone know what check he should make?
Survival?
Oh, that really makes a whole lot of sense.
Okay, I'll work with you like this. Pick which one you think you want to try, and based on the skill, I will use whatever method I can come up with to explain it.
Okay.
So you could use sleight of hand. You could use traditions. You could use lore. Okay. I think you picked one.
He has chosen.
Okay.
I wanted to know how you would explain that.
Okay. You go to the lock, and you explain to the lock that you descend from the ancient tribe of Kelox. This meant that your tribe identifies as a key. Explaining this to it, you attempt to thrust your head into the lock and attempt to turn it. You do so convincingly that the door almost looks like it's going to open for you, but doesn't. Because key locks are not a thing. Slightly ashamed, and while your performance was truly one for the ages, was wasted on the lock. See, I can do it. I could do it.
I'm sorry, I had to try to see what you did with that.
I had something ready just in case.
Okay.
He is ready for everything.
Now that that's done, I'm going to attempt this.
An actual
Oh, no,
check.
not that one.
Oh no.
Yes, that one.
Oh no.
That one.
Well,
That
I
one.
thought we were getting to the cartographer today.
There you go.
You attempt to sneak through the door. You put on your most prepared sneaky face and know that perhaps if you are stealthy enough, the universe will not see you, and thus you can
What?
pass straight through solid matter. And you try your hardest. You truly try your hardest, being as sneaky as you can, but you're not quite sneaky enough to defeat.
There you go, Chris.
You weren't quite stealthy enough to fool the universe. You attempt a strength save. From what you saw of your attempts, you now feel a little foolish. So you decide to push yourself away from the door to save any further mental attack that the door has committed against you.
Ah, that's great.
No, I really want to just try a deception check now.
Go for it.
Or maybe an animal handling check.
Whatever you do.
I
I will gladly react to it. I promise you.
Oh my god.
You attempt to lockpick the door. You then realize that you're really bad at lockpicking, so you instead try to steal the key from time. Then you realize you don't have a time machine and that doesn't quite work the way you thought. And then you realize that your entire plan and scheme revolved around things that don't exist, and you're not really sure you could ever build one of those. And you realize, ultimately, that you're missing 88.8 gigawatts.
88.8 gigawatts.
Here, try that
Okay.
one.
Dexterity. Okay.
Realizing that your first attempt to lockpick failed, you try again by being a little bit more quick-motioned about it. Unfortunately, you realize that you were slapping your lockpicking equipment that you were attempting to use, your lockpicking apparatus. You were just like smacking it really fast, thinking that might work. And while you keep hitting it randomly, pop, 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 you realize this didn't accomplish anything other than bending your lockpicking apparatus.
Good job. You did it.
Good job, mercenary. You deserve a reward. Is there another check you'd like to try?
And he realizes that he was just opening.
You decide to get away from the door, and you decide to run at the door. And
This
just
can
before
only
you
go
get to the door,
terribly.
you stop. What you were trying to do, you're not really sure, but you think that maybe you might have actually intimidated the door with how quick you were moving. The door doesn't seem to care, though.
Please tell me that you have it planned to where he's actually just opening the door wrong.
You decide to think of this not as unlocking a door, but really a puzzle.
A puzzle. A
And
puzzle.
realize that the door opening, and you start looking at the information you do have, and you start really puzzling and quizzing out, and you realize there must be a key for this. If you had this key, you could open it. But where would the key be? Where would you keep a key? And you remember earlier, when you had wandered through the house, you remember seeing a key rack of some sort. You think maybe one of those keys might fit this lock. So then you begin puzzling and quizzling.
I like you
doorknob.
didn't actually tell me about the key rack until I made this check.
Because you didn't even think it was relevant.
Well,
Didn't
I
become
suppose I should go
relevant
down-
until you figured out that you needed a key to open the door.
I will go retrieve the keys.
You perceive which particular articulated key you need to open this door. So you go downstairs and pick the exact key you need because you matched it with what you remember of the lock. You then come back, you put the key inside the lock, you turn the door, you open the door to
And then
darkness.
there's nothing inside.
The room is too dark for you to perceive anything in there.
But DK, there are Rohan riders outside, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna go ask them if I can borrow a torch.
One of them comes over to you, takes the torch from the front door, and then proceeds going through the room, finds a candle, lights the candle, puts it in a candle thing for you, and then hands it to you.
Okay, I'm going back upstairs to the dark room that was formerly locked.
Okay, you enter the room. Man, this room is dark for some reason. You're not really sure why. Even with a candle, it's not very bright. Would you like to attempt to perceive the room?
Sure. I
Maybe
will
there's
attempt to-
auto darkness things where just once all light gone.
That is actually a spell. I don't know if that exists in this game.
No,
but
it
is a
doesn't.
spell.
There's a way to remove light from a room that is in this game.
Okay, well,
I think it's
failed
elfin
my
magic at
perception
that
check.
point. You're pretty sure that this is the room. You're very sure. You think there might be a little bit of iron in a particular part, but you're not really sure if it's iron. It could be steel. It could be
A cabbage?
ironwood.
Okay, well,
It could-
Nick
it could
has
still
decided
be a cabbage.
he's upset with the upstairs, so he's going back downstairs.
So mocked by the upstairs vault, you decide to leave. Where are you going from here, Nick?
I'm going to explore the downstairs with my candle.
Okay, you go downstairs, down to the cellar. You see that a lot of footprints have stopped here. Many have continued, many have scurried. But a lot of it ends near the center of the room. Would you like to perform a perception check at advantage because you have a candle?
Because I have a can.
Because you have a candle.
A candle, indeed.
No other reason. Just a
Oh,
candle.
I closed
You're
it.
very
Bye.
sure that this room is completely and utterly empty, and now your shoes are dirty and muddy.
Why?
Somehow you,
Why?
through your attempt to look through the room, you've managed to spill water, and now, because of all the dirt in the room, this is a very dirty cellar, from what you can tell. And now your shoes are muddy, and you're pretty sure Pip isn't here, and that Mr. B has just flat out, the doctor has deceived you. This is an empty house.
I'm going to investigate the room anyway.
Okay.
As soon as Roll20 actually finishes
But,
work.
you must do this investigation at disadvantage. Because now you're upset.
Okay.
And he gets 2 20s.
That'd be hilarious.
Double 20.
You'll actually have to give me a minute, because Roll20 is trying to load the map again.
Oh, do you want me to roll it for you?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Okay.
Yes, do it, does, do it, does, do it.
I have to make sure I roll the right Nick. So there's more than
Wait.
one.
Why? Why is there more than one?
There's Nick 1 and Nick 2.
Why is there Nick 1 and
I
Nick
think
2?
I think he made one as a test original. Or, well, no, because we failed at setting one up properly the first time.
Alright, and which check are you doing?
I think I was going to try
Investigation.
investigation.
Okay. You're really bad at this skill, by the way.
I'm aware.
Is it like a -1?
you start to kind of perceive that there are mechanisms in this room. So you become slightly less angry at at the doctor. You're not really sure how they all work, though. You did find a bucket that drops dirt, but you don't really see how that has anything to do with this.
It has everything to do
You realize that this is a very that there is some sort of system in place, and you believe there is a secret now, but you really wish someone would have told you. And then you kind of start wondering if maybe you should start listening to what the doctor says a little bit more.
Yes!
I shall roll this and see what happens. I don't know if I removed advantage or disadvantage.
You did not. So you rolled a 10. You attempt to lie to the mechanism.
I was going to use my knowledge of lying, but...
Okay. I thought you were going to try to deceive the mechanisms.
No, I was using my knowledge of deception.
Okay, so you rolled a 10. I'm not counting that 20 because you still had advantage for some reason.
I'm going to be honest, I can't see either roll, so...
Okay, well, I'll just let you know you rolled a 10. You attempt to discover the deception of the room, and you find nothing. But you don't feel like the room is holding any untruths. Your investigation did leave you to wonder. You really did wonder. But you're not really seeing how any of this was actually relevant. Or how Pip would have access to it. It doesn't make sense to you.
Well, clearly there's only one way to solve this. I must put the peaches... Darn it, like the last time I did that check, it worked out just fine for me.
You decide to ask the room a riddle. No, I'm joking. Yeah, no, you ask the room a riddle. Riddle me this, you say.
Riddle me.
Little Pip is here, and not to be found. How do you find a boy that will not be found? And you hear a nonchalant voice say, perhaps you should use your eyes! As you've now discovered the Rohan Rider, one of the Rohan Riders has decided to, like, just join you. and he's like, what are you doing? We've been watching you just go around this house. And while it's very hilarious, this place does seem disturbed. Are you grave robbering?
No. Only 2/3 of the people who are supposed to live in this house are dead. I'm looking for the third one.
To finish the deal.
Well, no, actually I've been watching over him, but it's not the point.
Well, what are you hoping to find?
A small boy.
Alright, I'm gonna do you a solid. I'm gonna have the soldier attempt a perception check. I would like to let you know perception is not one of his skills.
I'm gonna be honest, I'm just enjoying rolling through random skills to see what DK will respond with. Like I wasted a bunch of good rolls on a stupid lock.
Well, the writer believes you. His investigation went really bad. He doesn't see any possible way for any of this to make true sense. But looking at you, he can tell you don't look like a robber. You look like someone who lives in a tree, and that you've never owned 2 silver that you can rub against each other.
Oh, good, that's the look I was going for. Okay, well, you know what, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to use my ability Rumor of Earth.
Okay.
And I failed it by 1.
You
So
decide
that roll
that
is
maybe
utterly useless.
the world is holding a secret from you. So you decide to find whatever secret the world has kept from you. And you feel like the world has kept you a secret. It's laughing. Whatever natural force in this universe is, it's laughing at you.
Well, Chris, you know what I'm going to do?
Yes.
I'm going to figure out. I want to know where the bucket pours dirt.
Okay. You notice that it pours dirt in more than one place. The more you look at the device. I'd be honest with you, it's a shame I did not actually have a character here who actually has any investigation skills, really.
You know what, Chris? I'm going to use the only...
I'm gonna use the only thing I have available to me.
Okay.
Oh no.
Okay. The Rohan warrior attempts to use his wisdom. And he goes over to you and says, "Do you think this dirt hides the door?" So I see it drops in multiple places. Why don't we just uncover all the dirt and see what's there?
He is wise.
I suppose. Might as well.
So you both start uncovering all the dirt. You finally found a trapdoor.
Finally, Nick.
I'm going to open the trapdoor.
You find the trapdoor and you realize there's a kind of a staircase going down. And what looks like to be a wall that you have no way of getting through.
Hey, Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Trapdoor is clearly a lie.
Would you like to check for...
I'm going to check for more trapdoors.
Okay. You find no other trapdoors.
Okay. I'm going to be honest, you didn't describe this trapdoor the same way you described it originally.
Yeah. See, Mr. B is a little bit more intelligent.
Because there isn't a ladder here.
There is a ladder going down the trapdoor.
You said there was a staircase.
Yeah.
The staircase is later.
You just said there was a staircase there.
Okay, there is a ladder going down. Forgive me. I thought I said ladder.
No, you said a staircase. Okay, well, I'm going to go down the ladder.
You see that now that you've gone down the ladder, that there is an impassable wall there.
I'm going to close the trapdoor behind me.
You decide to put your faith in something. The Ronin guard says bye, and he walks off. As dirt is now placed over the trapdoor, and now what seems like a kind of airlock system opens up, and you're thinking, man, I need one of those.
No, I've got a spiral staircase.
And you continue to take the ladder down, and then you find a crawling space. You start crawling on your hands and knees to proceed forward. Perform a perception check.
Or broken glass.
Yes, exactly.
You instantly know there is.
Actually, you know what, Chris?
Huh.
Is 13 enough?
No.
13 is not enough? Okay.
No.
Because I have a passive wisdom check of 13, so...
I don't really, like, there are other skill checks you could make other than perception. This is a deception.
Hey guys, we're gonna have to bail out.
So at the end of the hallway, you see a big set of words that say "the end," and that ends this episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Chris, I rolled a natural 20 on my deception check.
He's got deception. He's gonna deceive the glass.
You convince the universe that you are in fact made of glass, and thus make it through the glass. It
is not actually there.
Yeah, you convince the glass it doesn't exist, and it poofs. Poof of logic. We'll talk about it next week. But that's it for this episode of Dragon Ball Z. I hope you all enjoyed it, and we did do it live, and we only had a few technical difficulties. Thanks, everyone.
Maybe Dan will be back.
This is
Bye.
DK3D9, and what do we just all like greet each other out?
Nick Foxtails.
I am Rampage.
And Mr. Beason.
And Dan,
And,
who's currently a mute.
Yeah.
Dan is not a mute, he's a mime.
Yes.
I think that's worse.
Toodles.
And Dan says toodles. Well, guys, we'll see you next time. And as always, you're always loved. Take care, guys.
Bye.